The story begins with this person, Fukuzawa, who goes to investigate the murder of a person who was pushed out of the window. Fukuzawa goes up to the apartment where the crime took place, and there he sees the dead man's secretary and consoles him, and sees him spread a lot of documents on the floor. He said to him, "What do you do with these documents?" He replied, "I want to arrange these documents, because I suspect that the killer was trying to steal or destroy them. I'm trying to arrange them until I discover anything." Fukuzawa said to him, "They told me that he was pushed out of this window." He said to him, "Indeed, I am trying to solve the mystery, and this will be the best farewell gift that I can present to my boss. But fortunately for us, we caught the perpetrator of that crime. He is in this house, and the police discovered that his 10 fingerprints are identical to the fingerprints on the president's clothes. Go to him, but be careful not to destroy everything we have done." Fukuzawa jumps to the top until he reaches the room, and the killer finds a small child. He said, "Surely, this child is Oda, known in the world of crimes. But how could the security guards have been able to arrest him so easily?" At this time, a young man named Adagawa appears and tells them, "What a strange place this is. Didn't you intend to transfer this company? The road is very difficult and there are many hills." The secretary said to him, "Who are you and why did you come here?" He said to him, "I came to get a work permit here in this company." "But why do you spread all this paper on the ground? It's useless." The secretary told him, "Don't touch any paper from them, so as not to spoil everything you have done. I put them this way until I find out what is the motive of the perpetrator." Idagawa said to him, "I will solve this issue in the blink of an eye." Fukuzawa said to him, "How will you do that?" Idagawa told him, "There is a strong, heavy paper among these papers." So Idagawa goes to the window and opens it, so the air enters and all the papers on the ground fly except for one. And he told them this required paper and there is everything you want. The secretary gets very upset and tells him, "What did you do? I was very tired when I arranged them. I'll tell the police about the rest of the stolen documents." Idagawa said to him, "Don't bother yourself. None of these documents has been stolen. And the killer in this room did not kill the president, you killed him. And now you arrange this paper to keep doubt away from you. Didn't you see that there is something strange about the issue of fingerprints? Why are the fingerprints only on the president's clothes and not in the rest of the room?" The secretary gets angry and asks the investigator to expel this young man before he kills him. The investigator said to Idagawa, "But we found the fingerprints on the back of the president's clothes. If this indicates something, it indicates that a person entered the president's room and was pushed from the window." Idagawa said to him, "It is impossible for the president's office to be in front of the door of the room, and if someone enters the room, the president will see him. If the president resisted, the fingerprints would spread in the room." The investigator told him that the president could stand at the window, and he was pushed from him. Idagawa said to him, "The wind is strong today, and no one is opening the windows at this time." The investigator kept silent for a while and told him, "You are right. Of course, whoever did this was very close to him. He told him the existing fingerprints are fake because I have heard before that fingerprints are easily faked." The secretary told him, "How can I fake these fingerprints?" Idagawa said, "There are many ways to do this. You appointed the killer to work here. And since he works here, it will be easier for you to take his fingerprints, and I also got the security guards to arrest him. After that, we find the killer standing in front of the investigator and telling him, 'I did not intend to kill you, leave me to go quietly.' The investigator told him, 'I will not let you escape. Stay in your place, so that the crimes will not increase against you.' But the killer attacks him and they beat each other until the killer can escape from the room and kill the secretary to escape from the place. And when the investigation is over, Fukuzawa and Idagawa go to the restaurant to eat, so the investigator tells the young man, 'When did you know that the secretary was the killer?' He replied, saying, 'I knew from the beginning of the investigation when I saw the secretary wearing a jacket while he was arranging the documents. And this jacket hindered him from arranging the documents, but he was hiding the tools with which he made the fingerprints.' The investigator told him, 'Who are you? I could not identify you.' He said to him, 'My name is Idagawa Rambo.' I was studying at the police academy. But enough of the scandals of the supervisor there. But he kicked me out of there. The investigator said, "Where are your parents?" He replied, "They died in an accident, so I came to this city." The investigator gives him a card with his address and phone number, even if he needs anything from him. And that the first request he will ask him will be for free, so Odagawa goes abroad. The investigator's phone rings, and he finds that Odagawa is calling him from the restaurant's phone, asking him for money and a place to live. The investigator goes to him and asks him to go with him. And they arrive at a theater, and the detective says to Odagawa, "I have a mission here that I will accomplish, and if I succeed in it, I will ask the head of the theater to appoint you. Then I heard that she needs employees." So they enter the theater and meet the head of the place, and she tells them that there is an empty time before the start of the show. So you ask them to turn around even if they find anything strange. The investigator told her, "You have no idea what kind of threat it is." She told him this matter did not help you with anything. "All I want from you is to catch the killer." He said to her, "I only want to know what kind of threat it is, and I will not ask about anything else." She told him that the threat is directed at the actors who will perform the show only. And Odagawa said to her, "I mean, the actors will be killed. I am very excited to see what will happen." The head of the stage told him, "Who are you and why did you come here?" The investigator answered her, "I knew that you needed employees, so I brought him here. If I succeed in my mission, you will appoint him here." She said to him, "Okay, I will compare him with the advanced employees. And I'll see which one of them would fit to work here." And Odagawa said to her, "I made sure that I did not work here as long as you compare me." And the detective goes to the actors to take a look at them, and one of the actors, named Murakami, says to him, "You don't know what we go through before and during the show. We leave our real personalities behind and adopt new ones. For about 6 months I have been practicing for this show. I will not allow anyone to destroy everything I have done for me. And if I see this criminal, I will kill him before he thinks of doing anything." The investigator told him to focus on your work and leave this matter to me, do not worry about it. You will remain alone in the show and your companions will not be with you. Murakami told him, "No, I'm not going to be alone, because at this time each of us will be alone." And Odagawa said to him, "Are you the main hero in this show? Honestly, this is the first time I've seen you, I didn't know anything about you. Also, the script for this play is very boring and there is nothing new in it." Murakami said to him, "Do not give me your opinion. There are fans who evaluate this matter." And at the beginning of the show, we see the detective and Odagawa together, and Odagawa said, "I am very hungry. Obviously I didn't work here. Someone will be killed here and the whole stage will be closed." The investigator told him, "I do not allow something like this to happen. Neither the police nor the theater owners are as interested in this threat as I am." Odagawa told him this is a warning, not a threat. The threat always presents 2 options, which is to do this or I will do this. But the warning is that I will kill one of the actors. He didn't say anything else. I feel like it's an advertisement. The perpetrator who submitted this threatening paper did not ask them for anything. The investigator told him, "When did you know this?" He replied, "When I saw the threatening letter that the president gave you." The investigator was silent for a while and remembered when he asked him about the secretary. He knows that this young man is talented and has super strength and learns the truth very quickly. And he says to Odagawa, "As long as you know all this, why didn't you tell me?" He said to him, "I did not know that you did not understand that this message is a warning message." The investigator said to him, "Didn't you ask me for a place to stay? I will give you the keys to my house to go to. And if you notice anything about me, tell me about it." He said to him, "But I don't know who you are. You are a person in your early 30s, you live alone, you don't have a bodyguard. You have a small place next to the restaurant where you live. You have great power, but you don't use it. I think you used to work as a swordsman, and I also think that you don't use your strength because you feel shame because of your previous work." The investigator is shocked by his words and remembers when he was a swordsman and killed many people. And Odagawa tells him that he remembers from several years ago an accident in which a few people who supported the party were killed. And when you saw in the newspaper something similar to this incident, your facial expressions changed and I saw you angry. I felt that you did this accident. The investigator gets very angry and asks him to shut up. Itagawa fell to the ground from the strength of his voice, and the investigator rushed to him to check on him. He says to himself, "Who is this young man? I have never seen someone like him before." He asks him to help him in the task. And if they succeed in it, he will give him other tasks, and Itagawa agrees. And the show begins.